Here we are. We won't back down. Here we are. We'll hold our ground. Nixa football. Are you ready to fight? Flip on the lights. It's Friday night. Here we are. It's time to rise. Here we are to fight for right. If you don't wanna fight, you best walk away. If you're looking for a fight, step right up to the plate. 'Cause here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Nixa football. Are you ready to fight? Flip on the lights. It's Friday night. If you don't wanna fight, you best walk away. If you're looking for a fight, step right up to the plate. 'Cause here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are.
All right. Getting close to getting started here at the Coaches Show. And a good evening, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of our Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. And man, do we not have something to celebrate in Nixa! Wow. Outstanding. Great job this last week, and we're going to dive into that in just a few minutes. First of all, big thanks to our Touchdown Club sponsor, that is Jenkins CPA, and of course we'll hear a message coming up from them a little bit later. And then in addition to that, we have a new sponsor with us this week. We have the night team with Old World Realty will be our offensive and defensive plays of the week, and she has volunteered to be a part of this program as well. And then, of course, our friends here at Big Whiskeys, and somewhere, Greg, I lost your note. Here they are. Got his notes right here. But we always want to make sure that we thank our sponsors here at Big Whiskeys. They provide our coaches meals tonight and our 2 student athletes. Everybody else you got to pay, okay? So don't tip or leave without tipping your waitresses really, really big, all right? Remind them, kids eat free. Steak night is Thursday, $2 off, 20 TVs. And, of course, Thursday, the Chiefs home opener is right here. If you're not watching our 8th grade or 7th and 8th grade teams, then come on over to Big Whiskeys and watch those Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, I got the great patio and a brunch on Saturday and Sunday. Who is the Nixa Touchdown Club? Well, is a kind of a supporter of the program that is its own entity, but we work very closely with the Nixa Athletic Booster Club, and our goal is to continue to build advocacy for our program. We have some future plans coming up, sports water bottles, I think Vance said today, and a few things like that. So make sure and check out our Facebook page. That's where this is being broadcasted, and we would love to have you join as a member, and I know we have a few in here tonight that are already members, and we appreciate you guys. And watch for more great things to come. You know, Coach, we started talking about the Touchdown Club last year before you got here, me and Coach Wells and a few others, and as once you got here, it kind of evolved, and now it's really turned into something I think is fun and exciting to continue to support the program. So, all right, enough of the housekeeping stuff. What was that score, Coach?
I couldn't tell you, but we had one more point than they did.
One more point than they did, huh? 34-35, man. It's close. Yeah. You know, we dive into some of the numbers last week, and you got to be impressed by, well, first of all, your running back, your sophomore running back had 33 carries for 163 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry. That's got to make you feel good about those big men on the line.
Oh, no doubt about it, man. I thought his performance was absolutely awesome. Those offensive linemen have come so far. I've told this story. We had a camp early on, and we did a little inside drill, and I went home that day and honestly thought about going home. Like, it was the worst performance by an offensive line that I had ever seen in the history of my life. And to see what they have gotten to now is unbelievable. Now Ramon did a fantastic job of running that football, but that offensive line did a fantastic job of putting hats on people and moving people. And, we don't win that ball game without those 33 rushes and 167 yards, I can guarantee you.
Well, we had 332 yards, looks like it total in the air, 105 coming from Reed Potts and another 127 coming from Austin McCracken. So offensively, that's what kept you guys in the game. Your defense hung in there as well. I have to admit, we were probably an underdog coming into that game because their Class 6 ranked second in state. 16 regular season games, they were undefeated, and they came into our home opener at Eagle Stadium and our inaugural debut of Coach Perry and Nixa. And, man, you put a stop to that. How's that make you feel?
Well, it obviously after the game it felt great, but it probably felt just like it felt to y'all during the game. Felt like it lasted forever, and it was a lot of momentum shifts. But we had talked about it as a team. We knew we were catching them at the right time. They had been feeling good about themselves for way too long. And in athletics, when you start thinking that you have arrived, somebody's going to beat you, and that's, that probably benefited us Friday night a little bit. But, I was super proud of the way our guys went out there and played. I think it's amazing what can happen when people, truly believe in what they're doing and fight for a common cause. And, I think there's no doubt about it that anybody in those bleachers could see that, our guys believe that they have a chance to win the ball game. And the way they fought and the way they played is, absolutely, to be commended by them, no doubt about it. And it's very similar to life, and we try to teach life lessons, and life's going to be the same way. Sometimes, you're not going to feel good. Sometimes you're going to get behind. Sometimes you're going to snap the ball over the punter's head, but life goes on. You got to figure it out.
It does happen. And, of course, they had a really good running back. You talked about him the week before, Nathan Glades. I'm sure he had a lot of yards on the ground as well. But in the end, we stopped him at the right times and made the big plays, which we're going to talk about that coming up in a few minutes. And we're, some of our guests today we have on the show is going to be our offensive coordinator, Aaron Wells. And we're also bringing up our quarterback, Reed Potts, senior, and also Clayton Huber, defensive back for our defense. We're going to get to them a little bit later. And before we dive into these clips here and these highlights just a little bit, Coach, this is your first atmosphere. We had fireworks. We had a win. We had a ribbon cutting. How did you feel about the Friday night atmosphere that our community provided for you the first time to see it with you being the coach?
Well, I thought it was absolutely great. I thought the student section was awesome. The fans was awesome. I did make a trip to the coach from Joplin's locker room after the game and apologize for the fireworks and the playing of the song. I thought, I'm trying to make it easy on ourselves next year because he'll probably remember all that. And I did tell him those fireworks were going to happen if they beat us 100-0. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
and it would have been a different
conversation with him because I did feel bad about that. But I thought our fans and our people were absolutely great.
All right. Well,
I thought you did a pretty good job too.
Well, we got a great team that supported everybody, and the entire faculty and staff got together and we put on a good show. And appreciate all their hard work, and then of course we had the Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting and everything else. So it turned out very nice. All right, football, Coach. Right off the bat, let's talk about this. We've got you wanted to dive into this touchdown pass. Let's set this up for us. So you guys should be able to see it here on the big screen. This is in the first quarter. And
if you can see right here, Reed's checking the play himself. We had spent a lot of time all week. They like to go man. If you look right there, they are man across the board. And we had about 4 or 5 different things that we were going to check to, and he just checked to that himself because sometimes if we have to check from the sideline, they'll check out of the defense, and that's a little pick play where the inside receiver picks, and it was a really great pick and a great throw, and then Michael got the touchdown reception. But that's a huge play early on.
Right off the bat, 7-0, man. We're in the game right there. And Reed, we're going to ask Reed a little bit later what he saw here, why he checked off, and I'm anxious to see what his perspective on that is. But, man, how about Michael Sportsman, his speed? That's 3 touchdown passes on the season, I believe. Yeah, of course, you start there on the 41-yard line.
This is actually a switch route. Again, we knew if we caught him in one high, there's some things in football you're not supposed to be able to do. You're not supposed to be able to play with one safety in the middle of the field. So this was a play that we were going to check to as soon as they went one high. You see 7 in the middle of the field. So we checked switch, and that enables us to hit Smith up the hash, for a big play. But it's just another example of how, Reed was able to put us in a good situation. And I said this the other night, I think Reed being able to check to those plays early on, I think it showed our whole team, that we can play with them no matter what, and then we all benefited from that later on.
As I watch this play unfold, and at this time we lose our quarterback. So when you see Reed go down, what's your initial thoughts as you begin? Because you prepared all week long as Reed is your quarterback, and we know what Austin did the week before. But how did you? What was going through your head when we saw Reed go down?
My first thought was I wanted to punch him right in the gut because I had told him don't take off and run, don't take off and run. So I did feel bad for him, but I also wanted to punch him at the same time. But then my next thought was, once we got to the sideline, obviously the game's got to go on, and I think Austin filling in last week helped out tremendously. He had not had a whole lot of snaps this week at quarterback, but, we were able to get in there and function just like we had the week before, so you got to take your hat off to Austin, man. What a great job of coming in there and filling in like that.
And, Coach, he did look a little nervous, a little rusty coming in that second quarter because he wasn't quite prepared, but he quickly recovered from that as we get we see this play
here. I had to send one of the coaches in to get the play script from last week because I didn't even have it with me.
All right, so you're going to see this. This is where Stephen Ward is just really keeps his legs moving. And, man, what a great touchdown right here by Stephen Ward, man. Is he here tonight? Did I see Stephen in the crowd? Did I see him sneak in? All right.
Stephen didn't make it tonight, but that was a great play. We tried to tell him right there to stay outside and don't go inside. Well, he goes inside and turns it into a 50-something yard play, which is, unbelievable, man. What a great play. What a great momentum shift. That was big for all of us.
All right, so, of course, they keep coming back, though, Coach. You guys are trading touchdowns. At one point, we're up 14. They came back. I know people have asked me, why did you turn and go from normal kickoff to that pooch-style kick? What was the thought behind that?
Well, the thought was when we kicked it deep, they returned it for about 50 yards. So when we kicked it short, they only returned it for about 2. So we'd rather give them the ball on the 40-yard line than the other side of the field because we were not doing a great job. The kick was not landing where it should land when we kick it deep, and the coverage, we're meant to cover a certain kick, and we wasn't getting that kick. So, if you remember, they returned 2 of them to
pretty good
midfield, and we just, we put our defense in a bind most of the night. I thought defensively we played great, but we turned the ball over, and we didn't cover kicks exceptionally well, so we still got some things we got to work on.
I think we ended up having 2 turnovers, I believe. We recovered three turnovers. Good.
Well, no, we got 2, but
we had 3. Yeah. All right, so here's another touchdown play. Austin McCracken's coming back on the shotgun.
This was the same play. We actually connected this against Branson, too. It's a slant and go to Smith out there wide out. And I thought Smith did a great job. He went up there and caught the ball in traffic. We found one flaw in the stadium right here, I think. Oops.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's the flaw.
Yeah, well.
That bar right there cost Smith a viewing of his touchdown.
Yeah. So all in all, Coach, let's switch defensively just for a few minutes now. Let's just jump into that. I know that came up big and then late in the game. I know that we have. Coach, do you go for 2 points?
You know what? I probably do in that same situation. I think if you put yourself in his mindset, they had been getting large chunks all night long, so why would he have thought anything different,
Well, when I was watching that drive develop from the booth, and they were working their running back a lot on the outside, off tackle, left and right side, right? And so when they finally scored the touchdown on it, I was surprised by them deciding to go straight up the middle, which worked out to our advantage.
I was surprised that they went for it, but then when they did, you'll see Landon Carson stuffs the center and just knocks him back about 2 yards, and then everybody kind of fills in, and, that is a really, really, really big play right there at the most crucial time in the game.
Come on, that's a big round of applause. That saves the game right there. Yeah, defense showed up. And, again, I think it goes back to a little bit, Coach, that you're not working these guys to death on both sides of the field, and late in the game like that, they have an opportunity to basically make those big plays.
And we played a lot of snaps, man. There was a lot of clips in that ball game that if they're playing both ways, they're going to have serious trouble finishing close games, I can assure you.
All right, so we get the ball back. I can't remember exactly how many plays we went before we got out. We had to give them the ball back. They start driving again. It's late in the fourth quarter here, and here comes the big defensive play. This is our, and this will be our night team from Old World Realty defensive play of the week right here. And we're going to ask Clayton what was going through his head in a few minutes.
No
but how
doubt.
proud of your defense right there?
Oh my gosh, I was so upset at us offensively because we should have been able to run the clock out, run the football, get a first down or two, and not put the defense in this situation. But that's what team is all about, man. You got to be able to pick each other up, and they bailed us out right there with that interception.
Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts, man. I'm excited that we're 2-0, and we're going to try to go 1-0 this week as best we can. And I would also like to say we got Coach Wells and Hawkins right here in the audience. We got a real star. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just wanted to recognize that. That's pretty impressive that he come out tonight. To check it out.
Very good, Coach Hawkins. Of course, Coach and I go way back, so it's good to see him in here tonight as well. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to hear from Coach Wells, and we're going to hear from our two sponsors, Jenkins CPA, and, of course, the night team with Old World Realty. We'll be back right after this.
We are Doug and Denise Knight, and we are the night team of Old World Realty. Together, we have over 50 years of real estate and construction background and knowledge. We can help you buy and sell or build with our partner, Old World Cottages, right there in Nixa. Whether it's an investment property or a family home or a specialty custom home, we want to be your resource for all your real estate needs.
We work with honour, service and loyalty, and we partner with those who do the same.
Because that is the night way.
All right, so we're back here at the Coaches Show at Big Whiskey's, the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. We heard a great segment there from Coach Perry. And coming up still, we're going to hear from Reed Potts and our Defensive Play of the Week winner. Of course, that was Clayton Huber. That's all coming up. But right now, we have a special – it's not just the fact that we have our offensive coordinator as our guest. We have a Nixa alumni who understands the value of the Touchdown Club, and the reason why we wanted to do that, of course, when he played football, Coach Perry just talked about Coach Hawkins, and he was your coach back in the day. Of course, when you were playing football, just like me, we were over to old Howard Pyle Stadium, and the press box was a wooden crate, basically, up on the stands. You remember that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and of course, we eventually evolved into the bigger locations. And so how did it make you feel knowing what we were able to celebrate with Eagles Stadium and the re-grand opening, and how amazing a facility it ended up being after all these years?
It was just completely awesome, I actually took a knee after it was over. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it really was.
Pretty cool
To
deal.
see the program evolve over the years, and we have a long way to go where we want to be, of course.
You bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go, and just so proud of our kids and the buy-in with Coach Perry and everything that they've done, and just to see all the upgrades on the stadium, like you said, and everything from Howard Pyle Stadium to where we're at today. Just to be a part of all of this is pretty special. It's pretty amazing.
I don't disagree with you, man. And also being involved with the football program for many, many years, I feel like it's really great to see this shift and the community getting behind it. And we'll go from there. So taking a knee, that's good. All right, so let's get into our night team from Old World Realty Offensive Play of the Week. And, of course, you got to be proud of your sophomore running back.
Oh, absolutely. This guy has been a lot of fun to watch all through junior high. And then, last year we got him involved in our offense a little bit. We didn't run him up in between the tackles very much last year because we wanted him to come back out this year. So most of his run game was to the perimeter, and that's where he saw most of his action last year. This year, he's running up in between the tackles, running with confidence. We have an inside drill that we do most every day, and he's done a great job developing vision with that. Coach Miller is one of our new coaches. Coach Miller spent a lot of time over at Pittsburgh State as a running back coach over there, and is now on our staff, and he's done a fantastic job with Ramon. And some of that stuff you don't teach either. Some of that's natural. If you've got to tell a running back where to run, then he's really not a running back.
Well, and just the legs kept going. I think that's fantastic. It was really good, and he just keeps plowing through, and it's been impressive. I mean, you guys ended up, looks like, around 550 total offensive yards against what some would say a very good defensive team from Joplin.
Yeah, they were definitely on paper. They were definitely bigger than us, and you talk about some of Ramon's runs where he just kept his legs churning, and I was very impressed with him. I don't want him to get a big head out of it. I'm looking at him right now. He's kind of ducking his head a little bit, but
hey, we got a long season to go.
We got a long season, and he's just going to get better every year and every game.
All right, so Coach, now that you're going to make another quarterback shift, how do you begin to prepare Austin for next week against Willard?
Well, I think one of the major differences that we do this year is we spend a lot of time watching film, and Coach has done a fantastic job with explaining everything in the new offense and just giving our quarterbacks the freedom to make plays. And as he said earlier, they can make us right. Sometimes we make some bad calls, and giving those guys the freedom to make some of those checks and make us look right and to make us look like we've made good calls and stuff. So Reed did a fantastic job with that, and Austin having game one under his belt and coming in being our starter and just having a phenomenal first game as a sophomore gave him a lot of confidence. We talked a little bit too, and he was a little shook when he first went in, and he got the rust knocked off of him.
Yeah, fast.
Pretty quick. And so, I could tell whenever he came back for our second series, I knew he was ready to go. I could see it in his eyes.
Well, I saw that one play. He got shook up just a little bit, and I think the entire crowd went, oh, boy.
Yeah, we were getting ready to call out Wildcat. We were getting ready to yell for Riley because he's number 3.
Yeah. And he did come in for a little bit, so that's good. So we got to see Riley Childs again. Well, Coach, how do you so I know you've been scouting Willard a little bit. You know Willard. You've coached against them for how many years now? Offensively, how do we prepare for Willard next week?
Well, they're a 3-4. They'll get into a little bit of a 4-2 look, depending on how many tight ends we'll put down on the field. And I think we have a really good game plan going in. One of the things that Coach Perry's really, really good at, man, is matchups and letting our guys play free, and he's really good at finding some of those things, and he's good at taking input from us as an offensive staff, and I learn something from him every day and every practice, and so I think we have a good game plan going in. I feel really good about it.
Well, something that's impressing me this year that I think I've seen more than I have in the past several years is you had 17 players touch the ball on Friday night, including 6 different receivers and 11 different people actually run the football. I mean, that to me is showing that you're able to spread this out a little bit and give these guys the rest when they need it. I think that's contributing to the success of our offense.
Yeah, it really does. And we've got some new guys that have come out. Jackson Bray is with us this year, and then Smith Wheeler came back out. We talked about that last week, but we've got 5 really good receivers that we can spread the field with and stretch the field, and now we have 4 now that we've got Austin back at quarterback. Yeah, any of these guys are capable of touching the football and taking it to the house. They do a really good job. I'm proud of all of our guys right now.
Well, we got a long way to go, Coach, and I'm hoping we can continue to have these great conversations. But before I let you go, I just thought of this. He's got a mask on, so we're going to put him here in the middle of us. And as we bring up your football coach, I want you to think about one of your favorite stories about Coach Hawkins and tell us something really good and an old school story about Coach Joe Hawkins.
Well, Matt and I, Matt Huber sitting over there. Matt was my fullback in high school, and so we got the 3 of us here have all played for Joe. There's a lot of stories on Joe. On Coach Hawkins, I talked about the way that we used to practice, and our warm-up, we'd take a lap around the field and then circle up and stretch, and then we'd spend about 30 minutes doing some type of grass drills, the old, monkey rolls and all kinds of stuff. And then it was scrimmage for 45 minutes, wasn't it, Matt? It was ones versus ones, and we were trying to win every practice. And so those are some good ones. I would say that Matt probably remembers the time that, Joe was in charge of taking care of the field. He was the field maintenance guy too, and so they didn't give him a big mower. He had just this little snapper mower, It kind of reminded me of Waterboy, if you've seen the coach there riding that. But
Forrest
then
Gump.
and then he had to take a push mower, and he would push mow out the lines, and he'd let the grass get too tall sometimes, and that mower wouldn't cut it. And so I think there's a mower buried over there because Mac can tell you he's one of the spittingest guys there ever is when he gets mad. And we'd be in the weight room lifting, and next thing you know, we'd hear that mower choke out, and he'd have it over above his head. And we'd be pounding it on the ground, yelling and screaming. You couldn't make out any cuss words. He was speaking in some other language.
Probably so.
But that thing got buried one day next to the weight room. It's still
there.
Yeah.
We'll have to get maybe one of these times we'll get Coach in here and Coach Hawkins and do as we look at doing the Hall of Fame down the road. That would be something that we want to get Coach in on an interview for and do something with our Facebook page and be really good. Coach, thanks for coming up, letting us put you on the spot. Guys, give a round of applause for Coach Joe Hawkins. And of course, he didn't have TVs. He didn't have really a staff. The weight room, if you'd have seen the weight room back then, it was some Nautilus machines that we had. I don't remember it being too fancy.
We had one bench press.
Yeah.
We had one squat rack. We had a Nautilus machine, and we had a hip sled.
Wasn't a whole lot. Let's give a round of applause for our offensive coordinator and longtime alumni and coach, Mr. Aaron Wells. Coach, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Reed, come on up, buddy. We're going to bring up Reed Potts. If you guys will clean that microphone real fast, and then we'll cue up a couple things. Reminder, our sponsors here today are Jenkins CPA. They are our presenting sponsor. Vance and Heather couldn't be here tonight. They had another arrangement, but they are proud to be a part of our Touchdown Club and excited to see kind of where this begins to evolve and grow. Again, thanks to Venice Knight with the Knight team, our offensive defensive play of the week. And, of course, we just shared with you our offensive play of the week, which was Ramon Green's touchdown run. But I want to go backwards real fast, and we're going to bring up a play in just a minute. But before we do, Reed, as a former quarterback of Nixa, I was fortunate enough. I lost my 8th grade season to a broken elbow, and so I got to recover from that, but I got to play all 4 years, basically healthy. And when I saw you go down again the other night, my heart went out for you, buddy, because I know how hard you've worked. I know the work that you and your family has put in, and you put in with the players in the offseason, running routes. And, of course, I know the work that you've done over the years as far as going to the different camps. And you've been fortunate to be able to go and meet Peyton and Eli Manning over the years. And you've been in our program for a long time. And I know this is devastating, but I know one positive thing from this is that Coach Perry, you just got another coach. You got Coach Potts now. So I kind of think you're going to have a little extra help out there on the sidelines. But, Reed, how can we help? How are you going to continue to help the football program moving forward?
I mean, just encouraging the teammates. I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing, just being out there with Austin and just helping him out. And just encouraging, really. That's about it.
Well, and I know that when you went down, obviously the worst thoughts went through your mind, and you're wearing your brace, you're walking around. I know you're going to see some doctors this week. Is that right?
Yeah, tomorrow, actually.
So the odds of you coming back this season are pretty slim, but you just never know, right? I mean, there is a possibility.
I plan on coming back.
Good. So we may see him a little bit later this year. Very good. All right, so let's talk about the game plan going into Joplin on Friday night. So obviously, you've been in the program for a long time, and you know. So you obviously have been in the program a long time. You know how good Joplin's been in the past. How did you mentally prepare to go up against the other Eagles in the COC?
I pretty much just watched a lot of film, and I was confident in our team and just what we've been doing. I mean, it's pretty, I don't know, it's kind of hard to believe just because, like, the last 3 years, I mean, Joplin, we just got killed by them.
Yeah.
I mean, that just kind of gets drilled in your head, and it's pretty cool just to see that
Well, how did Coach Perry change your guys' mindset going into this game? Because obviously in the past, I think we all would have been like, just, oh, here it's Joplin, oh, it's Webb City, oh, it's Carthage. But, man, you guys came out acting like you're going to win. Where's the mindset shift at?
I mean, he said throughout the week, that, like, if we get them late in the fourth and it's a close game, that they're going to know that they're going to be in trouble. I mean, it's kind of something that all of us kind of had, just like an attitude that, like, we knew that we could compete with them and that we wanted to compete with them.
Well, you guys certainly did, and you looked really, really sharp coming out right out of the gate. So let's talk about, Coach said you had the option here to check down on this play. What were you seeing, and why did you make the decision to hit Sportsman?
Yeah, so they were in man coverage, and they were going to blitz the house. So right here, they're manned up like 1 yard off the line of scrimmage, and the safety's over there on the left hash, so I knew there'd be like a little seam for Michael to run right under him.
We're going to have to get on to Brian. He can't keep up with your guys' speed. So our videographer, Brian McCracken's having a hard time. Here's the end zone view of it. It's like, whoa, where'd he go? Oh, there they go. Way down there. All right. No, those guys do a great job. We're very fortunate to have them as our volunteer video team. Here you are looking at it again. And Sportsman is, man, he hits that seam and he's gone. There's nobody catching him.
Yeah.
What's he running a 40 in right now, Coach? He's when he's scared. Coach said he runs really fast when he's scared. Well, Reed, I'm excited to continue to see you on the sidelines. I'm optimistic that you are going to be back behind as a quarterback at some point this season. We got a long way to go, especially if we get into the postseason. Mentally, how are you going to prepare to do the hard work that it's going to take to get you back on the field?
I mean, just mentally, I got to be watching a lot of film and just knowing. I got to know who to get the ball to every single play. I got to be able to get the ball out fast, and I just got to kind of play at a different pace. I'm gonna have to play a little bit different than I have in the past.
Yeah, that's true. You're going to be drop back quarterback and just take advantage of that height and be a commander when you get an opportunity to get back in there. Guys, give a round of applause for our senior and our quarterback, Reed Potts. Thanks, buddy. Okay, just a reminder, you come on up, Clayton. We're here at Big Whiskies, and we're very thankful that Greg and his team have opened things up for us tonight and taking care of our coaches and our players tonight. And Reed, I do have a free appetizer card there for you, buddy. I forgot to give that to you, so there's your free appetizer courtesy of Big Whiskies. And make sure and be here on Thursday night as they'll have the Chiefs opener on. And I think, Greg, you guys had the live stream here going last Friday night, but of course, we had a big packed-out crowd over Eagle Stadium. Even in social distancing, they sold out every available ticket and that was a nice thing. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to have that big of a crowd last year in this environment. So, all right, Clayton Huber's with me right now, another Nixa senior, and of course another legend in the Ozarks. His dad and family have been around here for a long time. Clayton, how long have you been playing football for Nixa?
4 years. Well, junior high, 6 years.
6 years, yeah. And how on the defensive side, how did Coach Wickwar begin to prepare you guys last week to go up against, man, I mean, come on, that running back, you have to give respect to that offense that Joplin had.
Yeah, we knew what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to stop number 6 because we've been playing for a while and seeing what he can do. And we knew everything they were going to run, knew all their keys and what to look for, and read your keys and it'll take you to the ball.
So as you're looking at the outlook for 2020, and I keep asking this because, we've obviously seen an energy shift in our program here at Nixa. How has that energy shift affected you? And over the off season, what were some of the things that Coach Perry did that really, truly inspired you?
Coach Perry works with us a lot, kind of to help us become better, leaders, and it transfers into, your play on the football field. And when you believe, if you make the change, you can accomplish a lot of things. So we're really just grateful for everything he's done for us.
And of course, last year we saw you on both sides of the ball. This year you're mainly focusing on defense a lot. But let's just talk about this play a little bit. It's in the fourth quarter. We've gotten a touchdown. We actually stop them. We get the ball back. We get the ball back. We give them the ball. Now they have a chance to march down the field and score another touchdown, which inevitably would have won the game. And so let's just set up this play here in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 9 on the Nixa 31. Where are you at on the field at this point?
So I'm right there on the far hash, and this play, they beat me before halftime with that post route, and so I knew they were coming back to it. And Riley did a good job bailing and staying over top of his route, and just kind of threw right in the middle of me and Riley, and I had a chance to make a play. So.
It seems to me like it was tipped a little bit. Did I see the ball kind of go in the air? Who helps you out on that part of it?
Looked like Joplin's receiver helped me out on that part, but
I don't know, man. You guys are all in there right there playing great defense, man.
Yeah.
But to have that mindset to bring that down here at our Defensive Play of the Week brought to you by the night team at Old World Realty is fantastic, man. Congratulations, man. That seals the deal right there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if you don't come up with that play, you drop it or it hits the ground, they've still got another series. They got more downs to go, and they have an opportunity to continue to score. I'm not even sure what their kicker was capable of. Did they have a kicker that could make a pretty good field goal out of Joplin?
Maybe.
Not sure yet, right? So, man, that's just amazing, guys. Give Clayton Clayton Huber, I knew a Clayton Cooper, Clayton Huber a big applause for that. No, you're not going anywhere yet. All right, so defensively, how do you continue to plan for Willard coming up this Friday night? I know you played him in the past. You've been at Willard Tiger Stadium. What's on your mind?
Well, our coaches watch a lot of film and put a lot of time into it. Coach Wick says he's put 50 hours into Willard this week so far. So, but we know just about everything they're going to run, and we know our keys, and we are pretty confident we know how to stop them. So, how's
the team rallying behind Reed Potts?
Well, we all love Reed, and he's a great quarterback, and we're just happy that he's tough. And he has a chance to come back and finish the season and get to play his senior year out. And but we'll stick with Austin because we have faith in him too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They're both getting the job done, but you guys got to focus on what's ahead of you right now, which is the team that Coach Perry is going to put on the field. And I wish you guys nothing but tough speed, and we want how about a goose egg? Let's get that goose egg this week. What do you think?
We need one.
All right, guys, one more time. Clayton Huber, senior here at Nixa High School, man. There you go. You take that. All right, we're going to bring Coach Perry back up and wrap this thing up. Remind you that the game is this coming Friday night. It will be at Willard High School. I also know that our JV and I believe our freshmen, how things go against Joplin on the JV and freshman side? I think the freshmen won, didn't they?
The freshmen went better than the JV.
Okay, so the freshmen went better. So 2 out of 3, pretty good against the Joplin Eagles, right?
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, Coach, Willard Tigers, man, I'll tell you one thing. Ever since I played Willard back in the day, man, Willard always hits tough. They hit hard, and they come ready to play. How is your team going to be ready to play this coming Friday night?
You know what? I mean, it's a little bit of a challenge when you come off of a big win. I mean, it's easier sometimes to get a team to play coming off of a loss sometimes than it is a win. But, I think these guys are special, and I think we've had 2 really good days of practice. And it's kind of the same way you approach life. I mean, we can't worry about yesterday, and the celebration from, last Friday has been over. We're trying to figure out how to be the very best we can be right now. And have the best Wednesday practice that we can have and truly take it one day at a time. And when Friday gets here, our objective will be to win that day, and just be the best that we can be. And it really doesn't matter who you play. I mean, you should approach every single game the exact same way, and that's play to the very best of your ability. And if you do that, whatever the outcome is, we'll be happy.
Well, I know that this coming Friday night, we need to get as many fans up there as we can, have a big crowd. Of course, I think those stands up there, they make us sit on the ground, basically. So you want to get a good seat higher up, you better get there a little bit early. Game time will be 7 o'clock, and let's pack out the house. And I know they have extra room around the track. We can stand and watch the game, but let's support our Eagles on this coming Friday night. And, of course, it will be live streamed on nixaathletics.net or the CityLink TV screen. So if you can't make it to the game on Friday night, make sure you're watching online. Make sure you're watching our Facebook pages, the Nixa High School or Nixa Football Facebook page, Nixa Athletics Facebook page, all the latest information about what's happening with regulations about what you can and can't do at these games is going to be there. Coach, one final thought here from you as we look at Friday night. You think it's going to be the offense that wins the game, defense, or a combination of both? Or what? I mean, that's normally what you'd say, but what's really going to, as you're watching with tape, what's the player we need to be watching? What do we need to be watching on Friday night?
We need to be keeping our eye on the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage on defense winning because they're going to run the football. We've got to be able to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. One thing that, can be an issue when you play a team that runs the ball every single snap. If they're running the ball, the clock's running. So you don't get as many offensive snaps. So you got to be a lot better with the ones that you do get. So we need, obviously everybody to play good, but that line of scrimmage is going to be really important Friday night.
One final question I just thought of, Coach. How do you feel that we're doing in us giving away yards through penalties? Is there some improvement there, or you think we're right on par with what a normal team experiences, or what can we be doing to make sure we eliminate those?
That's one of our objectives is have no foolish penalties, and we have had, we call a foolish penalty anything that happens before or after the snap. Sometimes you're going to hold, sometimes you're going to face mask. Those are not really foolish. Sometimes those happen when you play hard. We have had too many illegal procedures on offense. We have moved. Last week we probably had, 4 or 5 illegal procedures, and it's just tough when you play somebody really good, to overcome 5 yards. That's something we've got to get better at. Our objectives says no foolish penalties. We've not got there yet, so we're going to keep trying.
Well, I think our referees have a tough job, and I think for the most part they do a good job. But I did not see how that was a roughing the kicker last week. Did you go back and look at that?
The roughing the kicker
In
last week.
the extra point? We watched the replay from the booth. We got a roughing the kicker on an extra point from Joplin.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah, you are.
I don't even know what
All
you're
right, that's
talking
good.
about.
Okay, so that wraps it up here from Big Whiskey's tonight for our Coach John Perry show, the Touchdown Club's coaches show here at Big Whiskey's. Big thanks to our sponsors, Jenkins CPA and the night team at Old World Realty. And we are looking forward to Friday night football, this time away, and that's at Willard. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. One more big applause for all of our guests tonight and our host, Big Whiskey's, and we'll see you Friday night at Willard High School.